Man United 1, Brighton 3. United losers. First game at home this season, but we are here with who's the Red Army, Josh and Becca, who's an Arsenal fan, but she's a football fan. So Becca, as you saw the game today, what's your perspective?
So I'm thinking, I feel like United wasn't fully ready. I don't know if the calls were bad or what. It's not really for me to say, but I think Brighton came in strong. And looks like United wasn't prepared for that. Underdogs.
So you think United kind of underestimated?
A little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you underestimate a team, this is the result.
Yeah.
Joshy.
Much respect to Becca. I disagree. I think we had an absolute idea about who we were dealing with. Brighton has been on form this entire season. They were fantastic last season. We knew that this was going to be a tough side. We knew that coming in. And the fact of the matter, though, what she did get right is that we were not prepared, right?
We were not prepared. We looked like a team that didn't know each other.
And so it's now, that being said, I'm really, again, it is still towards the beginning of the season. I'm trying not to be doomsday, Josh here. So I do want to put in context that we are suffering from a lot of injuries right now, okay? Not to mention, aside from injuries, unfortunate other reasons why we don't have players. Anthony, his future at the club, who knows what's going to happen. Mason Greenwood is no longer going to be a part of Manchester United's future. So you put that along with all of our injuries, and then you have Sancho with disciplinary issue. I mean, let's be honest, Manchester United cannot go a day without some bad news recently. Okay,
yeah, we've had more statements than wins this season.
That is true. That is
so true.
So now, that being said,
FC.
That being said, I still don't want to make excuses for this because I still think that we played poorly today. Aside from some moments, and I think that we could have been better. But like I said, I want to put things in context, so I don't want to be like, season's over. I think once we...
You're trying to put a positive spin on it.
I'm not trying to put a positive spin. I'm trying to put a realistic spin.
Realistic.
Okay?
The fat lady hasn't fun.
Okay, so but also, like, you think about even some of our new signings, Amr Bayat, right? Like,
Yeah, didn't play.
Okay,
All injured.
He hasn't played, right? So I think once we actually start getting some of these guys into the match, on board and stuff, I think that is going to assist us. However, that doesn't excuse our form today.
Big however. Big however.
Right. So Becca, as a football fan, as an Arsenal fan, I mean, your honest opinion was United just didn't play well.
Right.
They underestimated the opponents. You guys play tomorrow, and I know you're not a United fan. We're gonna hope you guys lose, but unfortunately, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
So, summarize what you've seen so far with the circus with United going on.
Last match, I really thought it was over for Arsenal. You guys scored straight off the bat, super strong, seemingly, and then, we came back. So, it's like you can't judge from past experiences, and I mean, I don't know Brighton that well, so here we are. But, you never know. You never know what's going to happen, and
It's amazing how once we transfer players like Denny Welbeck, all of a sudden they find their form and how to score.
This is a problematic thing. It's just like, what is going on with our cultivation of talent? Because, we think about the academy of old. We think about, the class of all that.
Class of 92?
92, you know what I mean? And so here it is. It's just like talent, for whatever reason, is festering right now. And we can't really, people don't really flourish until they leave.
Festering? It makes it sound like an infection.
Hey,
I get your point. I get the point.
You get the point. It's a great word because it's just like, it's festering along, and then suddenly they leave and they're great, and then they score against us.
Yeah.
Here we were looking for a center forward all season, and look at Danny Welbeck putting in goals at center forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that, even with McTominay can't seem to play at the club. Yeah. But when he leaves for international duty, what is he doing? He's a top Euro scorer right now.
Yeah.
Maybe too many cooks in the kitchen.
So now,
It might be. So is it too early? Quickly, is it too early for United fans to panic?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. Yes.
That
So,
all
no, because let's. What I also want to say is that one of the things that made Sir Alex Ferguson one of the greatest managers of all time was his man management, right? Okay, he set a culture, he created a culture, and you stuck with it. Ten Hag is only in his
first year and a half.
Right, okay. So he is still trying to go and create the culture that he wants, put his stamp on the club in the same way that Sir Alex Ferguson did. And again, Sir Alex Ferguson didn't do it in one season, he didn't do it in 2 seasons, right?
27 years.
And so Ten Hag is dealing with a lot right now.
Of course.
Well, like I said, from Greenwood.
And football has changed from back in the day. With now you have social media, players can just run to social media and say how they feel.
I was going to say, like, you can imagine that if social media had been around back in the day, David Beckham would have been all over it, going and
he would have been spent back in earlier than before Alex Ferguson got rid of it.
Yes. So, anyways, my point being is that Ten Hag is dealing with a lot right now, and from what I've seen so far, all like on-field management aside, I've been impressed with how he has been dealing with a lot of them, and I think he is working to go and put his stamp on the club and create the culture that he wants. And we're seeing that we're seeing that with Sancho, we're seeing that, and so, but that is still a process.
It's a process. We have to be patient.
And so, what happens so many times with cultures and systems is that there's some growing pains, right? But then once you finally establish that new culture, well, then all of a sudden everyone there knows what it is.
Everyone falls in line.
And then they fall in line.
Okay.
We're still in that process, right? So I think once we get past all of this noise that's going on or whatever, everyone at that club, I think, is going to be aligned and going to say, okay, this is Ten Hag's show. We know what the expectations are. You either are here to win with United, and if you're not, you can go and leave. So
can I ask, you know, I don't want to take your role here as question asker, Timmy, but, you know, how patient can we be, and how patient will they be? I shouldn't say we.
I think expectations are so high these days.
Expectations are so high, but this is what I was saying is, like, we're about to play Bayern right now.
Yes.
And Bayern are not playing well from their game yesterday.
Right,
We saw that. They got, you know, embarrassed by what's his name's team. And so what I'm saying is just like, can you imagine a Bayern humbling this week, maybe another humbling next week? What are we gonna do? And how long are people gonna be patient? Because it's just.
You see, one thing there's nothing you can't do. The thing that I say is this. You can't do, sack the manager, bring in someone who's going to start the whole process all over again. We can't do that. So you stick with the manager and you go through these hard times. But you got to say, all these inconsistencies all start from the top. If it widows this way, all down to the players. The players have to be mentally tougher. See the way Arteta manages Arsenal players. If you don't follow line, you are out. They don't go on social media to complain.
But even the Spurs guy, even the Spurs coach.
But you see what I mean? It's like players today's generation players, they're so soft, they can't take criticism. Any little thing, they run to the managers, the agents, and they go on social media and listen, man up. If you're wrong, you're wrong, and accept it instead of being like prima donna, that overpaid and underworked.
And this is exactly what Ten Hag is trying to establish right now. But I also want to make another point, is that Ten Hag is in a very difficult position because he's dealing with problems below him.
I agree with that.
And above him.
Yes.
He's had to deal with the circus of this Glazer sale, no
Glazers,
sale, whatever.
In
addition to all of the player drama, like, he's dealing with a lot, and that's why I said I've been impressed by his composure and how he's done that. And so it is not an easy position that he's in, and I think he's done well with what he's had to work with. And that's why I'm saying, like, again, like, let's not go and start going and saying it's the end of the world just yet. Okay.
I'm gonna let Becca have the last word. That's the lady today.
Yes.
You have the last word.
You know, ship up or shape out. You know, I would say if it's not working, then fix it. And that goes for any match.
There you go. You've heard it from her. She might not be a United fan, but she is a football fan and an Arsenal fan. And she's saying, listen.
And she makes excellent tacos.
So when you're in Houston, come to our bar, and she will get the best food there is. See you guys. Where can they find you?
Here, Thursday nights and Saturdays and Sundays.
Is there social media they can check on you?
Yes, _Becca Woods _.